The US-China trade war might not be showing any sign of slowing down, and it's going to have an impact on Malaysia's economic growth, but it is not going to cause a global economic recession. Bank Negara's Director of Economics, Muhammad Faziali Ismail, says that even if the trade spat becomes full-blown, the central bank estimates that global growth will be cut to 3%. He argues that this would then just be a moderation of growth instead of a contraction, a salient feature in a global economic recession. And while it is true that most major economies are going through their own respective economic issues, Muhammad Faziali says the normal economic indicators like inflation, jobs and growth are lower but not outright ugly. He adds that Malaysia is able to weather the storm and that it would take a lot of shocks for the global economy to move into negative or very low growth. Bank Negara expects Malaysia's GDP to expand by between 4.3% and 4.8% this year. In 2018, Malaysia's economy accelerated by 5.5% with a GDP value of 1.4 trillion ringgit at current prices. Ekuinas is reportedly exploring options for its stake in oil tanker operator Orkim. Citing people familiar with the matter, Bloomberg reports that these include a potential sale. It says Ekuinas is working with advisors to divest Orkim in a deal that could value it at as much as 1 billion ringgit. Another option would be to list it on Bursa Malaysia. Talks are still at an early stage and may not necessarily result in a deal. Ekuinas owns 95.5% of Orkim. It had in 2017 agreed to sell the company to UMW Oil and Gas Corp for 473 million ringgit, but the deal fell through due to capital constraints. Deputy Finance Minister Dato' Engineer Amiruddin Hamzah says Putrajaya expects to collect 22 billion ringgit in SST this year. Amiruddin told Dewan Rakyat that the reintroduction of the SST regime had helped raise disposable incomes. He also said that the move did not result in an increase in the price of goods and services, citing, for example, the Consumer Price Index, which has not shown any significant increase. The CPI, which measures headline inflation, has remained steady so far this year, although it did rise by 1.5% in June due to a weaker reading a year earlier thanks to the 3-month tax holiday after the GST was abolished. However, it is noted that in March, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said that the CPI may not be an accurate measure of inflation faced by Malaysian households, as it takes into account other factors such as estimates on business production cost and input cost. Putrajaya is willing to become a minority shareholder in Malaysia Airlines, an option it is exploring with Morgan Stanley as a strategic consultant. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Muhammad Farid Muhammad Rafiq, told Parliament today that Khazanah Nasional brought in the investment bank to advise it on Malaysia Airlines' recovery plan and that one option was to cut its stake in the carrier. He also gave his assurance that the state will not compromise on the airline's branding, nor will it greenlight any layoffs of its 14,000 local employees. Malaysia Airlines Union NUFAM is not convinced. According to Bernama, it is worried that Morgan Stanley would recommend more job cuts while using everything in the book to undermine the union. It also maintains that the carrier is understaffed and wants Malaysia Airlines to be placed under a special purpose vehicle under the PM's office. Hong Leong Investment Bank Research has upped its target price for DRB-Hicom to 4.15 ringgit per share from 3.03 ringgit. The research house, which has a buy call on the counter, says its meeting with the conglomerate has reaffirmed its positive view on the group's turnaround. In a note today, it pointed out that Proton Holdings had in its fourth quarter registered its first ever quarterly profit since FY11 due to cost-cutting measures, improved operation efficiency, higher Proton sales and new X70 contributions. It is expecting Proton to do better in the coming months. Meanwhile, it says Post Malaysia will be reporting improved bottom line in upcoming quarters while potentially benefiting from MCMC's review on stamp prices. It adds that DRB-Hicom also has large undeveloped land banks with combined market value of 6.5 billion ringgit.